Hey guys, what's going on? ENGWE contacted me and said, we'd like you to review our ENGWE L20 e-bike, and I said, sure, why not? So in this video, I'm going to tell you guys a little bit about the specs of this e-bike, and then later on, we're going to take it on a road test, where I'll describe to you exactly how it rides. The first thing I want to talk about is the front of the e-bike. This is the position that you're going to be looking at when you're on the e-bike. As you can see here, the readout is pretty clear. The frame rate on the LCD might seem like it's flickering, but that's only because it's the camera, not the display itself. I have sunglasses on and it's extremely bright out and I can read the display and it's very legible. And I also like the form factor. It looks very modern, very crisp. It looks like something that's really, really high quality and they spent a lot of time making it. Besides that, this is a half twist throttle, which is something I really like. It kind of reminds me of riding a motorcycle. And then moving over to the right side, you have a Shimano 7-speed shifter. The 7-speed shifter is really, really smooth. So you have two buttons here. One of them shifts down, the other one shifts up. And I like that you can shift up and down using your thumb, which makes it really seamless and simple. And as you can see here, this is a completely step-through system, meaning that you literally step through it. So getting on and off the bike, regardless of how tall or short you are, makes it a really, really simple process. As far as the seat is concerned, the seat is height adjustable. The adjustability is really simple. You pull on this lever here and then increase or decrease the height of the seat. The other great thing about the seat is that it can be moved all the way to the front, so this way you can remove the battery. Moving over to the battery, this battery allows you to ride this e-bike for a whopping 96 miles, and that's according to ENGWE's website. I haven't really tested it to see what the range is like, but we're going to be taking it on a test ride, and I will let you guys know exactly how the battery does while we're on the road. Moving over to storage compartments, because you have two storage compartments, one in the front and then you have another one in the rear. This is good up to 55 pounds and this is good up to 25 to 26 pounds, maybe up to 30. The weight of the e-bike is somewhere around 75 to 77 pounds. Not exactly a colossal e-bike and not exactly featherweight like a 40-50 pound bike, but it's something that's going to be manageable while you're riding it on the road, especially since it has pedal assist as well as pure riding modes. As far as the lights, we get one in the front, which I haven't really tested out, only in my apartment, and it seems pretty bright enough. And then you also have another light in the rear. And the great thing about the rear light is that you don't have to have the front light turned on in order for the rear light to work. So when you're using your brakes, it lets people know that you're stopping or you're using your brakes, which is a really, really good safety feature. And last but not least, you have disc brakes in the rear as well as in the front. So this is the position that you're going to be sitting in, and it's a really, really comfortable position. The seat is nice and wide and soft, so on long commutes, this thing is going to be really comfortable. Currently, I have it at 0 pedal assist, but we're going to raise that up to number 1. There are two buttons on the bottom here. The left one is going to increase the pedal assist, and the right one is going to decrease it. As far as the button on the top, this button turns on the unit as well as turning on the front light and turning it off. There are a couple of other features here as well to check on your trip meter as well as your odometer and things like that. It's really not bright enough and the camera really can't show it to you, so we're going to skip all that stuff for now. But we're going to start off with pedal assist number 1, and I'll let you guys know how fast this thing goes. This is going to be pure power mode, so I'm going to use the half twist throttle to get going here. The speedometer is telling me that I'm doing 4 miles an hour on pedal assist number 1. Let's kick it up a notch to pedal assist number 2. And I felt a surge of power bringing me all the way up to 8 miles an hour. Now we're going to kick it up to pedal assist number 3. We're doing 13 miles an hour, which seems to be perfect for the environment I'm in right now. And then pedal assist number 4 is going to take me all the way up to 18 miles an hour. But the good news is that you don't necessarily have to use pure power mode, because if you want to get the most out of the battery, a combination of using the pedals will kick in the pedal assist mode and give you a surge of power. So this way you can get some exercise, burn some weight, and use the leverage of the power to get you going. So we're going to kick this all the way up to 25 miles an hour and try the brake test, because 25 miles an hour is the maximum amount you can ride this bike. And to do that, we need to go to pedal assist number 5. One thing I did notice about this e-bike is that is that the length of the e-bike is a lot bigger than most 20-inch units. And I think that has something to do with the front carriage. They wanted to extend it just to give it a little bit more space for the front carriage. I'm not exactly sure. Getting off the line and using pure power mode, the throttle is instant. It's not exactly jerky. It's a very, very smooth throttle. This is the type of bike you buy to commute with. And as a commuter bike, I wouldn't want something with a jerky throttle anyway. So while I'm at this red light here, it's nice to know that my rear light is turned on at the moment, even though I don't have the front light on. Gives me a little extra peace of mind knowing that other people can see me. So now let's talk a little bit about the comfort. How comfortable is it to ride on short and long commutes? So judging by the looks of this e-bike as well as all the features, I would say that the kind of person who buys this e-bike is using it for long commutes. As an e-bike for long commutes, I would definitely say that this is a really, really comfortable e-bike. The seat is nice and wide, as I mentioned before, and having the ability to step through the bike as opposed to throwing your leg over it makes it less intimidating to ride. This e-bike is unisex, and I think it's the perfect e-bike for men and women, especially if you're doing long commutes. Unfortunately, this bike doesn't come with a horn, but you do get a small little bell. Nothing groundbreaking or loud, but it's just a regular bell that you can hear if you're a little far away. So if someone is maybe 10 feet in front of you, they can hear it, but I wouldn't rely on this thing for other cars. Now let's talk a little bit about the suspension and the ride quality of how these tires feel on the road. As far as the tires are concerned, I haven't really pumped them. The way it came out of the box is the exact way I'm riding this e-bike. I felt my other bike that I recently pumped, and it felt very similar, so I didn't bother pumping it. But as far as the combination of the tires along with the front suspension, it does a really good job of dampening the road. I don't feel too many bumps, but the road surface that I'm in currently, it's really not a bumpy road surface. However, in just a little while, we're going to be taking this bike through some really bumpy surfaces, and I'll let you guys know exactly how it feels, because there is no rear suspension, but it does have front suspension. And then, of course, as I do in all my videos, we're going to be doing a hill climb test. All right, guys, sit rep. We have 4.9 miles on the trip indicator, and before I had 1 bar less, but as soon as I stopped, it gave me that 1 bar, so I still have all the bars left in my battery meter. And in front of me here is going to be a downhill, a really, really steep downhill that we're going to be coming back up as a hill climb test. So I want to see what this baby does going up hills. All right, off we go. This isn't the steepest part, but we're doing 25 miles an hour without any power or pedal assist. Does it have a speed limiter, or will it allow me to keep going? Let's find out. Gradual incline here, so I'm using pure power mode right now. 25, 24 miles an hour with a slight incline, 23, 22, 21 miles an hour. And now it's going to be completely downhill. 30 miles an hour, 32, 34, 34, feeling sketch. So it does not have a speed limiter. You can continue to go as fast as this will allow. All right, guys, here's that bumpy section I was telling you about earlier. In San Diego, there's really not a lot of bumps or potholes, but I think I found a location where I take all my bikes. But this is it right here, guys. This is a really bumpy area. Let's see what's going to happen. It's not super smooth as you would get with something like a dual suspension e-bike, but it still does a pretty good job. I would give this, in terms of smoothness on bumpy surfaces, I would give it maybe a 6 out of 10. All right, let's do a U-turn here and go back up that crazy hill. Now, as an FYI, the rear motor is 750 watts, so that's more than enough power to carry you up that hill. But how fast will it go up that hill? If you watched any of my other videos, that hill is the most steep hill in all of San Diego. Surprisingly, when you're going really fast on these bumpy surfaces, it feels less bumpy. I wonder why. When you're going slow, you feel everything. But look at this guy and his tiny tires. He must feel a whole lot more. And he has no suspension. So yeah, the bigger tires, the chunky bigger tires definitely help. All right, guys, we are in the hilly section, so I'm going to drop my gear to 5th gear, and I'm using pedal assist, doing 14 miles an hour on the second steepest hill in all of San Diego, doing 13 miles an hour using pedal assist. Let's see if we only use power mode. 12 miles an hour. Holding a steady 12. Holding a steady 11 now. And we are at the top of the hill now. So now we're going to go up the steepest hill in all of San Diego using pure power mode in the beginning. And then later on, if it struggles, we'll use pedal assist. We're currently at level 5 right now, so doing 13 miles an hour. 12 miles an hour. Only power at this time. 11 miles an hour. 10 miles an hour in this hill climb test. 9 miles an hour. Seems to be struggling. Battery dropped down 2 bars at 9 miles an hour. And now it's going down to 8 miles an hour. All right, so it is struggling, so it's time to use pedal assist. I think I need to drop down another gear. 11 miles an hour, going up the hill. Although the bike is struggling, I'm not struggling. I don't feel like I'm losing breath going up this hill. The pedal assist definitely helps out. So if you have steep hills like this, which most people don't, but if you do, you won't be struggling that much because the pedal assist does a really good job of helping you move along. And now the hill has cleared. All right, now we can go back up in gears. The gears are so smooth. Holy cow. All right, let's go in here and summarize everything about this e-bike. A little bit of squeaking from the rear. That's all right. Well, guys, to be completely honest with you, I like the bike, but there are a couple things I also don't like about it, okay? Let's first start off with the things I don't like about it. The first thing I don't like about this e-bike is that you have to have the key inserted into the unit at all times in order for the battery to be operational. The second thing I don't like are these brakes. At 30 miles an hour, 35 miles an hour, I don't know how fast I was going, but they didn't stop me as well as I thought they would. But out of the box, it needs a little bit of adjusting. But fortunately, guys, those are the only 2 things I don't like about the bike. Everything else seems to be absolutely amazing with this bike. I like the way it looks. As far as the frame is concerned, you can see the welds, but it's not something that's super noticeable. Like, my eyes aren't drawn to it because they look that horrible. They're just welds, and it's normal to have them there. It's a perfect commuter bike for someone who just wants to go from point A to point B. This isn't exactly a performance bike. It only does 25 miles an hour. And quite frankly, it doesn't really need to go all that fast. It's got front loading capacity and rear loading capacity. The person who buys this bike will buy it for commuting and for pleasure use. And as far as pleasure use is concerned, it's a lot of fun to ride. I love the display, and it's really comfortable on long commutes. Because I've done a total of 7.7 miles on the bike. And so far, I'm not tired. And as you saw going up that hill, it did somewhere around 10, 11 miles an hour using pedal assist. But anyway, hope you enjoyed this review, and I hope you learned something about it. If you're interested in this e-bike, I've included links down in the description below. It's perfectly priced, and I highly recommend it. So I'll see you guys in the next episode. Thanks so much for watching. Take care. Ciao for now.